This enormous deep-sea whale cried out in pain, begging for someone to end his life. He has been imprisoned for over 1,000 years. Long ago, he accidentally swallowed a few fishing boats, and for that, the king imprisoned him for a millennium. Until one day, a strange duo appeared over the sea. They landed on a reef to rest. The man turned around, and to his shock, the island nearby was actually a giant whale. He dove into the depths to observe, but discovered that the iron chains were as thick and strong as dragons. That sneeze sparked an idea. He mounted his little donkey and flew straight into the whale's nostrils. Inside, the whale's body shimmered like a galaxy of stars. The man told the donkey to tickle the whale's nose with its wings. The strong stimulation made the whale suddenly rise upright. Indeed, being ticklish can unleash terrifying power. Tell me, viewer, are you ticklish? With a thunderous sneeze, the whale shattered its chains one by one. Not only did it sneeze out the man and the donkey, but it also spat out all the fishing boats it had swallowed. Freed at last, the whale wanted to repay its savior. Through his friend Boss Sai, he gave the man a magic ring. But the man didn't know that this act of kindness would soon bring terrible consequences. When the cruel king learned what happened, he decided to make the man suffer the whale's punishment instead. Ah Dai was a poor worker on a farm. Though poor, he was honest and kind. One night, a bright light appeared in the farm. A divine white horse had secretly descended from the heavens to play, but accidentally it fell into the lake. Adai saw this and tried desperately to save it. In his panic, Adai looked around and noticed the water wheel behind him. Thinking quickly, he tied the rope to it and used his own weight to spin the wheel. Finally, the white horse was pulled safely from the water. Moved to tears, the horse gazed gratefully at its rescuer. Adai untied it so it could go home. The next moment, the horse began to glow. It leapt high into the air in thanks and shot off into the night sky like a meteor. Adai thought it was all a dream, but the next morning he found a mischievous little donkey in his house. To his surprise, the donkey spoke human language. It said it was the same white horse from last night, a celestial being who had come to repay his kindness. It even brought 2 fine stallions as gifts. Adai was overjoyed, but then an angry shout came. The white horse's night visit had ruined the farm, and Adai hadn't protected the crops. The farm owner wouldn't spare him, so the little donkey offered to be Adai's mount and help him escape. Adai could never have imagined that the donkey was faster than any car. They escaped successfully, summoning the stallions from miles away. They reached the grand royal capital. To repay the farm owner's loss, Adai decided to sell the stallions at the market. From afar, the greedy king spotted them and seized them without paying a single coin. The donkey, however, would not stand for it. He let out an earth-shaking roar, summoning the horses back to him. The furious king gave chase. The horses leapt gracefully over a pile of flour sacks, but the king wasn't so lucky and turned completely white. Surprisingly, the king wasn't angry. Instead, he offered Adai a royal title, but only if he helped capture the divine fire phoenix. This was clearly a trap, but Adai, naive as ever, set off excitedly with the donkey. In a forest, the donkey hesitated, warning Adai that the phoenix was far too dangerous. But Adai had no choice. He soon noticed squirrels sleeping motionlessly in a big tree. Then he saw nuts scattered on the ground. Just as he reached for one, the donkey stopped him. Those nuts were poisonous. Eating them caused deep sleep. Adai suddenly smiled, because the phoenix loved nuts. They journeyed to a desert oasis, the phoenix's home. They spread the nuts all over the ground as bait. When a small squirrel tried to eat one, the ground burst into brilliant red light. A pillar of fire shot into the sky. The phoenix emerged, its body wreathed in blazing flames. With a gentle flap of its wings, it soared like a rocket, circling the sky like a comet. Then it descended gracefully and noticed the nuts below. Delighted, it tossed one elegantly into the air, dancing as it ate like a noble creature. But soon its vision blurred, and it collapsed to the ground, still determined to eat the last nut before fainting. Adai cheered and woke the donkey, but before they could act, a fiery talon reached from behind. The phoenix snatched the bag of nuts. Adai turned and yelled, startling the phoenix into tripping over itself. Angry and humiliated, it chased them furiously. The donkey bravely rammed the phoenix midair, but soon the phoenix retaliated. Adai quickly intervened. The donkey burrowed into the sand to hide, but the phoenix soon found him. Just as it was about to attack, it spotted more nuts under a board. It calmed down happily, until a squirrel stole them. Furious, the phoenix unleashed hellfire, turning the desert into a sea of flames. Trapped in a corner, Adai threw the last nut toward it. The phoenix swallowed it eagerly, and the next moment, ropes sprang up, binding it tightly. The proud divine beast had never suffered such humiliation. Tears of shame dripped from its eyes, burning holes through the ground. Moved by compassion, Adai released it. Freed again, the phoenix nodded in gratitude and soared away like a rocket, leaving behind a shimmering rainbow feather, its most precious treasure. Adai returned home triumphantly, showing everyone the feather and claiming the phoenix was now his friend. But the feather had lost its glow. The king thought Adai was lying and sentenced him to death. At the execution, the feather suddenly reignited in light. The phoenix appeared in the sky. Sensing Adai's danger, it had flown across the world to save him. The people cheered in awe. Everyone believed now that the phoenix was truly Adai's friend. The king had no choice but to keep his promise and make Adai a royal minister. The phoenix then became a living streetlight. Whenever Adai whistled, night turned to day. But one night, Adai blew the whistle all night long, annoying the king, who gave him yet another impossible mission: to bring back the Snow Princess from the distant Ice Kingdom. After 18 days of climbing, he finally reached the Ice Palace, but a wall of solid ice blocked his way. Just then, the phoenix melted it effortlessly. However, the donkey was swept away, sliding down the snowy slopes and hanging off a cliff. Adai entered the palace and found countless identical snow princesses. Helpless, he looked up, and a phoenix feather descended, awakening the real princess. After 100 years of slumber, she fell in love with Adai at first sight and immediately embraced him. We'll skip what happened next. She agreed to go with him down the mountain. Using her gown as a parachute, they descended, but Adai accidentally tore it, and they plummeted down. Just before hitting the ground, the donkey flew up and caught them. They returned victorious. The people adored Adai even more, which made the king jealous. So the king gave him yet another impossible task. Instead, he freed it. This time, Adai knew the king would never forgive him. So under cover of night, he fled. Adai sneaked up on the tower. To save Snow Princess, had already sent people to monitor everything. The two lovers finally met. Adai took out the magic ring when she confessed her love to Snow Princess. As a result, the soldiers broke in, caught Adai on the spot. The little donkey that hid in the window, also injured by the king's wings, he fell from the sky and was seriously injured. The next day, Adai was taken to the execution ground. The soldiers brought 3 big iron pots, a pot of boiling water, a pot of ice water, and a pot of boiling milk. The princess took off the ring in her hand, throw it into the boiling water. The next second, Adai flew up. This is when the phoenix came, awakened the phoenix feather in the treasure chest, just when Adai fell into the second ice water pot. The phoenix feather floated in. The snow burst in an instant. Adai flew up again, then fell into the last hot water pot. There was a golden glow in the sky. A shining phoenix slowly fell into the iron pot. The next second, Adai flew up under a golden light protection. It turned out that the little donkey ran back to the immortal world with a heavily injured body overnight. Found this immortal flower, Adai successfully passed the punishment of the king, and the king thought the iron pot had magic. So he jumped down. The result was trapped by a huge bubble, finally drifted to the sky and disappeared. And the kind Adai became the new king of this country under the voice of all the people, and the beloved Snow Princess had a happy life.